Thank you. Hey, Jake. I'm Zachary Seth Carter.
And I'm Thomas William Tucker. And we get to introduce Senior Chapel today. And let me tell you, I am excited to graduate. I'm just thinking, you know, after this year, no more finals. No more.
Well, actually, we take finals in college.
Okay, but there's no more like algebra class? That's done with it.
Yeah, just still gotta take math in college.
Okay, but all of those personal finance forms we had to do, we're done with those.
Well, actually, we gotta fill those out every year.
So what's the point of graduating? What's the point?
Well, you see, Thomas, God has given each of us a specific plan. He's laid it out for our lives. And He's blessed us with this school that has prepared us for our walk. So that, my friend, is the point of graduating.
That makes sense.
All right, thank you. Please stand for worship as this wonderful team leads us in the last time.
Yeah, Cups 2019. Here we go. Y'all like ready? Flexing on the motivators. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Disappear like some magic. Want that diploma, gotta have it. When it comes to good grades, I'ma add it. 2019, let's start some habit. Full thoughts, ambassadors of Christ. Yeah, we did right. I'm about to take flight. Future looks bright. Sort of new heights. Always do right. Graduation in sight.
I'm not new to the scene, starting up on U14, pulling up, super clean, all this money, all this green. You know that we rep my team, North Top Christian, that's my team. See us now, we're on the screen, come next year, we beat the scene.
Yeah, DD. You know I got the beat. When I pull up in the league. All you freshmen take a knee. North Top Christian on a mission, I be fishing, haters dissing, need to listen, I'm a legend, always flexing, keep on guessing, we the greatest, why the haters, we just trying to elevate it, we just trying to celebrate it, when y'all gonna learn to take it, when y'all gonna learn to face it, class of 19 always go ahead and take it, though. After this I might get back. Pull up to the class for a lesson, yeah I came for A's, not for messing, I studied for the test, I'm not guessing. When I take the test, I know every question, yeah. So yeah, you know we let the eagles fly. So alive, record on a book, I do not lie. Now we can try, don't even ask me why. Now we can fly, we even make our parents cry. We take the college, we go with golden knowledge. My mind is polished, but let's not forget to acknowledge all the people who can touch and seize. My apple food, so shout out to you on the beat.
Keep it 100 like my grades. I don't get B's, I only get A's. Yeah, shout out Mr. A. Yeah, I graduate in May.
Oh, bros, you already know. I love my school. This place is so great. It'll help my faith.
Never apologetic. Shout out Dr. Kevin. We becoming legends, preparing us for heaven.
So, Eagle Nation, yeah, you know we racing. God got my back, yeah, we are so stacked. We're the last class, senior year of class. They went by so fast, about to run it back. Yeah, I'm going psycho, whipping in the taco baseball team. What a year on my school, blue that baby blue. Love my boys too, with the shield, oh, with the wheel. Things are getting real, you know, if you know, we're so fly, catching high, like the Eagles fly. Fly out day, shout out Coach Blaine, stay with me, Dave, this your man.
Just started really chilling. I came in, I had a feeling. You and me, she is the greatest. You can put that in quotations. We work so hard, my parents just big egos out here elevating, pulling up to graduation. Yeah, we out here living, savings, dedication. Shout out, she the greatest. I'm not saying no hesitation. Renovating, getting things, pictures, white haters out here hating. Got no patience for the ones who making changes for the Lord and for our nation. You know we the generation. Laying down that foundation, you know we didn't understand.
Shut up, bro.
I'm talking. Good. How about we give a hand for Chloe Go? She put that video together. So, good morning. My name is JD Wright. If you don't know me, this is my second year here at North Cobb. I moved here from Texas during the summer between my sophomore and junior year. I'm really excited to be speaking to you all today. I was glad that the senior class let me do this. I was very excited. The whole theme for today's chapel that we talked about was memories. And so we were talking about the things that we've learned as a senior class that we wanted to try and pass on to y'all. As underclassmen, to our faculty and staff, it's just a thank you for everything that all of y'all have done for us over the years. So, to start out today's memory talk, I wanted to start with a story that takes me back all the way to second grade. It was while I was still in Texas, and I was in Miss Pearl's class. We were in PE, playing dodgeball, just like every other good second grade PE, and it was getting a little intense, as it always does in second grade. And we were having a lot of fun. We were playing dodgeball, I was on the team, and there was this girl on the other side. She was getting really mean with it, you know, as girls always do. And she threw a ball, and I was the last one in on my team. She threw a ball and smacked me right in the face. And I got really mad, I'll be honest, I really did. So I went over there, and I just shoved her down. Dr. Barber. Turns out that we're actually really good friends now. She's like my adopted grandmother, but she was not that day. So I went to her office, and things did not go great for me. But I tell this story because I remember that day very vividly driving home. I don't remember if I was riding with my mom or my dad, but I do remember one thing that they said to me, because I'm sitting there in the back seat, and I'm just thinking about, and I tell my mom, man, I just really wish that I could wake up and restart the day and not do what I did. And I remember exactly what she said to me, because it's probably going to stay with me for the rest of my life. But she said, you're going to have that feeling a lot in your life, and it doesn't matter what you've done, but it matters that you take that feeling and let it change your tomorrow. So I really took that to heart, because it was like, wow, that's... As a second grader, I probably didn't understand it as much as I do now. But it was really something that I tried to apply to my life so that I don't have that feeling of wanting to restart a day. And so I'm going to invite some seniors to come up to our mic up here. Tim is our first reader. And they're just going to read a quick passage from 1 Thessalonians. So everybody can come on up that's going to read. And it's 1 Thessalonians 5, 12 through 19. And just think about it as a verse that kind of gives us a guide. That one right there. Yeah. That gives us a guide so that we don't end up with that feeling. So I'm going to invite Tim to go ahead and read that verse. Yeah.
Tim, you can grab the mic. You can take it off.
All right. 1 Thessalonians 5:12 says, we ask you, brothers, to respect those who labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you.
Hold them in the highest regard and love because of their works. Live in peace with each other.
To this he...
And we urge you, brothers, admonish the idle, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with them all.
See that no one repays anyone evil for evil, but always seek to do good to one another and to everyone.
Rejoice always. Pray continually.
Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Jesus Christ for you.
Do not quench the spirit.
So, yeah. So I invite them all to do that because as a senior class, this is kind of what we want to say to you. So I thought that having a lot of different voices from the senior class would be kind of cool. But I love the last verse verse that Hadley reads because I think that it kind of sums up the entire passage because it says, do not quench the Spirit. And I think that if we can focus on not quenching the Spirit, then I think everything else in the verse kind of follows in the suit. So, I wanted to focus on two main points today as a senior class, kind of two principles or lessons, whatever you want to call them, that we felt were important for you to learn if you haven't already, or for you to just keep building on if you already know. And so the first one comes from our theme verse this year, 2 Corinthians 5:20, and it's about being good ambassadors for Christ. I know we've heard it all year, but I felt that it was honestly something that's super important to what we stand for as a school and what we stand for as individuals as Christians. And so I just wanted to talk about how being an ambassador for Christ really boils down to whether or not we have an extreme amount of pride. So, God is an amazing God. He's fantastic. He loves us. He doesn't care what we've done. He wants to forgive us. He wants to bring us into his arms in heaven, and he wants us to be his children. But we are extremely selfish. And a lot of times all we can think about is ourselves. And so, if we think about being an ambassador for Christ, taking this message that we've learned throughout the years from all the way back in second grade to now as seniors, I think that it's hard sometimes to be a good ambassador for Christ because we don't know what other people think of us if we start talking about the message. We can't hold on to this good news that we've learned because we've heard it all the way, or maybe not all the way, but we have heard it because of the Bible classes that we're in here and the chapels that we go to every Thursday. So we've heard this message, and yet so often we just hold on to it and keep it to ourselves and not spread the good news, which is, frankly, not very loving to the people around us because, as Romans says, we've all fallen short of the glory of God, and yet we just hold on to this good news like other people don't need it, which is extremely selfish. So we learn of his nature and his perfect plan, and then we don't share it. And we're called to love in the Bible, and so often we just neglect that command and we don't love. I heard a speaker once talk about evangelism, and he was saying that so often we think of evangelism as an event. We go to church every Sunday. We go on a mission trip. We go to a mission project. We bring canned goods to school. Stuff like that. We think of it as an event, something that we get ready for, we bring stuff for, we go to. But he said, I just want to challenge you that evangelism is more of a lifestyle. Because if we live every day of our life with the idea that every person we come in contact with needs to hear the good news, then it changes the way we think. Because every time we interact with somebody, we should have a goal of getting them into the gospel. Because that's what we're called to do, because we are called to love people. So I think that perfectly leads into my second point. The second thing that I feel is so important for us as seniors, I'm sorry, Ethan, is caring for people. Not just caring for the people that we like, not just caring for the people that we see every day, but just caring for people. Just caring for the human kind. So we have to care about people and helping them physically and spiritually. So I think that if we help them spiritually and if we help them physically, then it just melds into one idea of helping people. So when we bring canned goods, when we go on mission trips, when we do service projects, stuff like that, it brings us to this ability of helping them physically, but so often that's all we give. We just leave them short of helping them physically, or helping them spiritually. And I want you to think about something that I thought about a lot when I was writing this talk. I was thinking about how every time we interact with somebody, we influence them. We influence them either positively or negatively. I don't really think that we can influence someone neutrally. I think that we either lift them up or we either tear them down. I don't think there's really a middle ground. So I think that brings us an interesting challenge, because if we have this constant influence with people, up or down, it should really bring us to this understanding that we have to purposefully lift others up every time we see them. Otha, I'm sorry. I'm just going to walk closer to the podium, I'm sorry. And so practically, what does this look like? I'm just going to jump ahead because it's fun. Practically, what does this look like? I think that a huge part of caring about people, and hear this, is listening to you. It might not seem that deep, but it really is. Because there's a lot of parts of listening to people. Because so often we're focused on ourselves that we don't care what other people have to say. We don't care about the problems in other people's lives. We don't care about the struggles other people are going through. We just care about what's happening to us here and now. And so often we don't have the love in our hearts that enables us to listen. And listening is not just sitting there while somebody is ranting to you about some of their problems in one of the teacher's hard classes. It's about listening to them and then remembering and checking in with them and seeing how they're doing and, hear this, praying for them. It's a crazy idea, but I think that it can be easy. Well, not for me, I can't remember a thing. But if you can make this purposeful effort to remember things that people talk to you about and remember their problems and pray for them and check in on them, it's a game changer because it makes them realize that you actually love them. And that love comes from Christ's love that he gave to us. It's really about investing in their lives. So many, I'll just go ahead and say all, of our faculty and staff do. They invest in our lives every day, and they remember what's going on in our lives, and they help us through our struggles. And so often we just take all of that help and don't give it back out to anyone else. So I have a charge for the senior class and for the underclassmen. And I think that the charge to the underclassmen can go ahead and go out to the teachers as well. But first, the seniors. I feel that we have a unique opportunity this next year because we will be going to a new place. It's not necessarily a college campus, but we'll be going to a new place where, for the most part, nobody knows us and we don't know anyone. For a lot of us, it'll be our first time in our life where we have that opportunity. So you have a choice, or we have a choice, to either purposefully continue or change to be this selfish person who doesn't care about what's going on around him and doesn't listen to people, or we can make this effort to listen to people and care about them, which is going to lead them to Christ. Because with the love that we have, and if we share that love through listening to people, through caring about people, through serving people, then it will just be extending the kingdom of heaven. So I encourage you and I challenge you to make that decision today to be a positive influencer in your next chapter in life. Underclassmen, don't think that you don't have the same opportunity. You might not be going to a new school. Hopefully you'll be staying here. But you still have the opportunity to choose whether to be positively influencing or negatively. Because every day, like I said, you have the opportunity to interact with people and influence them. So the question is if you serve them or if you tear them down, if you care about them or if you only care about yourself. So I challenge you to leave this place better than the way you found it. Because we all come into freshman year and we know what the school is like. We know what high school is going to be like. And we have 4 years ahead of us that we realize that it's going to take forever to get to graduation. I know, it's a long time. But we have an opportunity, especially the underclassmen, to leave this place better than you have. Juniors especially. Next year you're going to be seniors. You're going to be leading the student body. And it's important that you leave this place better than the way you found it, because we're leaving it for you, And we might not have left it the best that we could have. So I challenge you to do the best that you can. So I wanted to come back to our theme verse because I thought that it would be a great way to end the year, because this is one of our last chapters, if not the last, I'm not sure. But 2 Corinthians 5:20 says, "Therefore we are ambassadors for Christ, God making his appeal through us. We implore you on behalf of Christ, be reconciled to God." So it's a perfect way to end this message, because every day we are to go out and be ambassadors. It doesn't say be ambassadors on Sunday. It doesn't say be ambassadors on mission trips. It doesn't say be ambassadors for service projects. It just says be ambassadors, because, like I said earlier, evangelism is a lifestyle. And so I think it's important that we realize the importance we have in God's plan, because this verse, it's so clear, God making his appeal through us. Because every day we are either positively or negatively influencing God's reputation. Dr. Hedges talked about it in her class not too long ago, and she said she was talking about the idea of God's reputation, and that every day we are representations of his reputation. And so I think it's important for us to realize that whatever we do, it can either make people think positively or negatively of God. And I think that's huge to think about, because if we think about exactly who we are as Christians and the message that we present, I think it could change the way we think. So, the last thing I wanted to do was I wanted to have a little bit of time of reflection. So we're at the end of the school year, at the end of the 2018-2019 school year. Seniors were graduating. That was sad. But we have a time of reflection, because seniors, we've been in high school 4 years now. Underclassmen, three to your first year. But we have a time of reflection where we can look at this verse, because we heard it at the very beginning of the year. Go ahead, everybody turn to the sign. Think about it. We heard this verse in our very first chapter, and we heard, "Therefore we are ambassadors for Christ, God making his appeal through us." How did we do? Were we ambassadors? Or were we selfish? It's hard to think about, because I know there were definitely days that I fell short. There were definitely days that we fell short as a school. But the question is how are we going to do tomorrow? Because with Christ, there's always an opportunity for tomorrow. Even if we wish at the end of the day that we could wake up and restart the day, there's always going to be a chance to wake up again tomorrow and be different. Because that's the promise that Christ gives us in his death and resurrection. So the question is how many more times are you going to let yourself be in that position where you wish that you could just restart the day? Hopefully in Christ we'll be able to wake up again tomorrow and be a little different. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for this wonderful day that you've given us today. And I just thank you for the opportunity to come together and hear your word, Lord, and hear everything that you have to say to us, Lord. And I just pray that as the praise team comes back up and sings another song, Lord, that you will just help the student body to be different tomorrow, Lord. And I just pray that in everything that we do, we show the love that you gave to us. Because it's so important that we do as you have called us to do, and that we have a lifestyle that reflects your nature, Lord. So I just pray over the rest of our day today and over the rest of our year, as short as it is, Lord, that you will just allow us to bring honor and glory to you in everything that we say and do. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
You can sing number 6.
Amen. Ooh, this mic's loud. Let's give our seniors just a round of applause. They helped plan this service, they helped do everything in this service. You know, I want to invite everybody to take a seat. One thing that came out of our planning time that was really unique is that the seniors really wanted to spend a couple minutes praying together. And not just praying for them as they leave, but actually praying for the underclassmen, those that are rising 12th graders and everybody else who's coming in into high school, into a new grade next year. And so a few of them actually volunteered to pray for some of our different grade levels. I'd like to invite everybody if you guys want to come up here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to pray together, and this is really just some of these folks' heart for the journey that you guys are going to go through next year. And when I asked them to, as we were planning this prayer time, I said, hey, I want you to think about something that you wish somebody would have prayed for you when you were going into your senior year, or you were going into your 10th grade year. And so that's really the heart behind this. So as each of our seniors up here pray for you, I'd love for You're praying over 9th grade first, right? If you don't mind, when they invite you to stand, if you're in 9th grade, 9th graders first, I'd love for you guys to stand and for us just to pray over you. And seniors, if you guys want to just join in praying from where you're seated or just pray in your hearts, that's totally fine too. So let's bow our heads. I'm just going to start this prayer time off together. Dear Father in heaven, I love that your word says, ask and you shall receive, Lord. It doesn't say, ask and maybe if I listen, you'll receive, or ask and maybe if you beg enough, you'll receive. Your word says, ask and you shall receive. And so we just open up this word of prayer, Lord, this time of lifting our voices to you, to petitioning for you, for praying for each other. We just pray that your Spirit would be here amongst us and that you would, Lord, just rest in our lives. Help us to see you anew.
So, for the freshmen, Father, I want to pray for all of them. They're getting more comfortable. Their first year's done in high school, basically. They're basically sophomores. Got a few exams to take care of, but they're going to crush that. I want to pray for all of them. They're going to go through a lot of friend change and just figuring out each other. So, Father, I pray that in that they look to you and look to your truth. And also pray that their comfortability as a high schooler now doesn't sway them from their comfortability in being a Christian and looking to your word. I always pray that they continue to strive to be more like you. And then also, I wanted just our being comfortable. I also pray that they continue to push their boundaries, try something new, talk to somebody they haven't talked to before. This summer is a great opportunity to do that. And Father, I pray all this through you, and I just hope that they take sophomore year and stride and just crush it.
Can I have all the sophomores stand? Alright, let's pray. Father, I thank you so much for the sophomore class and just what a blessing that they've been to this school, and I thank you for letting them be here, Lord. I pray for the sophomores that are present sophomores and then the sophomores that are going to be coming next year to be juniors, Lord. I pray that you would just put your hand over them. Father, I pray for their stress levels, Lord, that you would just go before them and behind them and bless them with the comfort that only you can provide, Lord. I pray for their relationships with their parents and their friends, Lord. This is an important time in their high school career, and I pray that you would just guide them into healthy relationships with people around them. And I pray for their schedules as it gets a little more chaotic with college planning and school gets a little more demanding, Lord. I pray that you would just guide them, Lord, because ultimately we want to follow your plan. And I pray for their future as a whole, that you have it planned out, and I pray that you would just bless them with the peace, that they would know that, Lord. And I pray that you would just help them figure out your will for their life, Lord. You're perfect, and we know that, and I pray that you would just let them know that you're in control. And it's in your name that I pray. Amen.
It's your turn, juniors. Can every junior please stand up? Thank you. Oh, there's a lot of you. Wow. So, let's pray. Dear God, I just want to pray over these juniors that you will just grant them wisdom, Lord. Please grant them wisdom in their college search. Don't let them get distracted by big names or campuses or where this or that person is going, Lord. Please just let them to seek your face and let them to seek you wherever they are going. And I pray that they will choose the school that is right for molding them into your ambassador and into your servant. Lord, I pray that you will please grant these juniors peace going into their senior year. Don't let them get anxious or stressed about deadlines, applications. Just let them to trust in you and to trust that you are their God and you have never and you will never fail them. Lord, I pray that they will just have fun. I pray that the stress and all of the deadlines don't get in the way of them genuinely enjoying this last year in high school, of making new friends, strengthening their old friendships, and just having true fellowship with one another. And I pray that they allow their teachers and the people around them to really pour into them and to strengthen their spiritual walk with you, Lord. And above all else, I pray that they manage to stave off senioritis, at least until apologetics is over. You may sit.
Hey, can I have everybody stand with us? Let's pray. Dear Father in heaven, just as we look ahead to all that you have next year, Lord, I pray that you would help us to become a bold people that wouldn't just say that we know things about you, but we would be a people who know you. And that would change how we interact with one another. It would change how we interact with our parents. It would change how we interact with our church, with our teachers, with our day-to-day lives, Lord. I know that you have amazing things in store for everyone in this room. And just as we finish up the school year, as we look to the season that you have ahead, Lord, I pray that you move our hearts to set our sights on you. We just love you and pray this in your name. Amen. Now stay standing. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually invite all the seniors. I would love for you guys to go in any way that you can in between these rows. Find a place. Leave your chair. We're going to take a time to actually pray for our seniors. Yes, you guys are going to have to move. So get up out of your chairs. I want you to find a place. There's 3 aisles and you guys can fit down. If you are close to a senior, you guys can go. Yeah, I want you guys to pray over too. If you are near a senior, I want you to place your hand on their shoulder. We're going to all pray for them as a school. If you are not near a senior, you can just place your hand on the shoulder in front of you. Yes, we're going to pray old school style. You can make this mic louder, Michael. Alrighty, folks, here we go. Shh. This is what I'm going to do. We're just going to pray for about 30 seconds, all of us together, okay? It'll be loud. That's all right. We're going to pray for our seniors for all that the Lord has for the next year, and then I'll close us out. So let's pray together. Dear Lord, we just thank you that we have an opportunity to just meet together and pray over each other, Lord. Lord, we just lift up these seniors. We lift up the road ahead of them. Lord, we thank you that no matter what planning we might do, or no matter what comes to us in the days ahead, Lord, that you are the one who orders our steps. And you are the one who has written our life plan in your book of life. I pray that every senior here would stay the course, that you would guard their hearts and their minds, that you would help them to see you in everything. And I just pray that you would guide them, hold them by their hands, take them down the road that you have for them. So we love you. We thank you that you are a good and faithful God, and that you are the good shepherd who leads us. We pray all this in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Hey guys, everybody just hang where you are. Our senior worship team has a closing song, and I always hate doing the announcements after that. So we're going to stop and do the announcements real quick here, because there are a couple things we need to recognize, and then our worship team is going to lead us. Hey, can I see our varsity state track team? Can you just raise your hand? There's 14 of them. Hey, right? Hey guys. Right after chapel today, that group is heading up to Berry College to compete in the state track meet. I have heard through the grapevine there's a good chance that our girls team could win, but you know, I was having this interesting conversation. Coach Sanders and I were talking the other day. This is the largest group we've ever taken to the state track meet, but this was interesting to me. This morning, Coach Childers and I were talking. A lot of you guys know Coach Childers coached at Harrison a long time before he saw the light and finally came to North Cobb Christian. You know, he was telling me this morning, he said all the years he coached at Harrison High School, they never took this many athletes to the state track meet. So let's hear one more time for our track team. It's really awesome. Another group, this is also a good time for celebration. Sometimes we celebrate lots of student things. We have a cool teacher celebration that I would like to bring to your attention. After lots and lots of hard work and investment, next Saturday morning, while our seniors are receiving their diplomas, Mrs. Epp will be receiving her master's degree. Way to go, Miss Epp. Congratulations to Miss Epp. While y'all are studying, she's been studying. All of our teachers work so incredibly hard. And then I also, this is definitely mixed emotions, but a huge congratulations. After 11 years of incredible investment and leadership, I want to say a huge thank you to Mrs. Timms. She's just done an incredible job. Mrs. Timms is moving into a role as a curriculum specialist with an educational publishing company. We all know she'll be amazing, but I hope that you guys will make sure to let Miss Epp and Miss Timms know how incredibly proud of them y'all are and their leadership. Can we hear it one more time for these two ladies? It's really... Miss Timms will be playing in Powder Puff tomorrow night, though, so it's kind of a good transition. She'll be there. Hey, tomorrow, actually it starts tonight. Tonight at 7, tomorrow night at 5:30 in the Fab, our Academy actors will be presenting A Tiny Miracle with a Fiber Optic Unicorn. I have no idea what that's about, but I hear it's super funny, so come join them. Hey guys, our student government and our sports management class have put together a fantastic evening of Powder Puff. Chloe Go, right down here, has the Powder Puff as the class of 2019 are the reigning champions. Can we show that video for tomorrow?
This is my arena. I'm the black widow with a bad sticker, and I make it scream like a bad singer. I'm everything that you wanna be plus more. Since there's no heroes anymore, jump out the window, I'm at the master. With a bad man, got a man, got a bad one. Never say us, don't praise what they ain't up. See me in the NYC, you can never spin my heat. No, never link up. Never say us, don't praise what they ain't up. See me in the NYC, home of the VIP.
So tomorrow night, and we want to remind everybody that we are using our fund for a good purpose. Your admission tomorrow night is to bring at least one of the items off the list for Must Ministries. Mr. Ray emailed everybody earlier this week, so you've got that. Young ladies, if you are playing, you must wear a mouthpiece. If you have a question, I can share the story with you about the young lady who left some of her teeth on our football field. And also, our teachers are accepting donations of Advil. Students, as we look towards exams, just a moment of clarity here. All seniors have school Monday and Tuesday, all day as usual. Your exam exemption form goes out today, seniors. Please read that carefully. Senior exams are Wednesday, Thursday next week. Then everyone will be here Friday for awards and baccalaureate, cool community service project for our sophomores, our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. Juniors. A cool privilege that you guys walk into in the spring semester. May 20th and 21st, not this coming Monday, Tuesday, but the following. If you have an exam that you're exempting, and you have already exempted it, you don't have to come to that period's exam review. But please be, thank you, Alicia, thank you. Juniors, please make sure that you have taken care of all your details. Seniors, today is the last day to pick up your graduation cords. When we dismiss in a moment, all seniors should gather in the bleachers under the word Eagles for our picture. And 9th, 10th, and 11th graders, the last 5 rows of chairs will pack up. Hey everybody, can we hear it one more time for our senior worship team? They're going to lead us one more time.
Alrighty, folks, you guys are dismissed back to class. Thank you so much. Seniors, remember we're taking a picture in the back bleachers. Seniors, head to the back bleachers for a photo.